Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining and taking time out of your busy schedules and joining us in this exclusive webinar with University of Debrecen. Today's webinar will go on for 1 hour. In the first 30 minutes, we will be discussing about the university, and then we'll move on to the Q&A part where you'll be typing in your questions and we'll be answering them accordingly. Today we have Ms. Dora from University of Debrecen with us. Over to you, Ms. Dora.
Hi, hello everyone. Welcome and thanks for having us today and learning about the University of Debrecen. I will start with a short presentation on the University of Debrecen and the programs that we offer. As the title says, we are in the heart of Europe, in Central Europe. We offer international degree programs to students from all over the world, from 120 something countries, actually. So we are in Hungary, in Central Europe. Hungary is a member of the European Union as well as part of the Schengen area. The population of the country is about 10 million, so it's a small country. The capital city is Budapest, but the University of Debrecen, as the name suggests, is in Debrecen. We were ranked the 13th safest country in the world by the Global Peace Index. So we are one of the safest countries in the world. Hungary has mild continental climate, so all 4 seasons. We just had snow this week. Summers tend to be pretty warm as well, around 30-35 degrees Celsius maximum. And winters are usually also pretty mild, around 0 to 5, sometimes even 10 degrees Celsius nowadays. Now, as for the city of Debrecen, it's a very historic town in Hungary. It has more than 650 years of history. It's one of the oldest towns in the country. It's the second largest city, but still doesn't mean much because the population of the city is about 200 or 230,000 people, and it lays 230 kilometers east of Budapest, which, as I mentioned, is the capital. It's a college town. Actually, as I mentioned, the population is about 200,000, and at the moment we have 30,000 active university students at the University of Debrecen. So you can see that the local / university student ratio is pretty high. Everything kind of revolves around the university here. It's a college town. Everything centers around that. We are also the largest higher education institution in the country as well. Here you can see some photos of the town, the main square, the city park. And this is all that you see, and these photos is a 5 to 10 minute walk from the main campus of the university, actually. So we are the largest higher education institution in the country and in the whole region as well. The predecessor of the university, which was the College of the Protestant Church, was first established in 1538. That gives us centuries of experience in higher education. And the university as we know it today, in its format today, was founded back in 1912. We at the moment have 13 faculties in all kinds of different fields, starting with agriculture, dentistry, education, training, engineering, health sciences, humanities, medicine, music, law, natural sciences, and pharmacy, and even IT. We operate on 8 different campuses. 4 of them are in the city of Debrecen, and another 4 are in neighboring towns. As I mentioned, we have 30,000 students, and out of these 30,000, we have 7,300 international students as of this academic year, and they come from more than 120 countries, so from all over the world. You would be part of the largest international student community in the region if you were to join the University of Debrecen. We have about 1,500 lecturers, so the student lecture ratio is 20:1, which is the European standard as well. We are obviously part of the Bologna higher education system that's in place in almost all European countries. And I mentioned that we have multiple campuses. You see the main building and the main campus, the agriculture campus, the life science building, which is mainly used by medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy students in their first and second years of studies. You can see that it's in a very green environment. The main campus lays in an area that's under international environmental protection. It's a forest area, so everything is very green, very spacious, and very easy to focus on your studies here, to relax, because it's a very calm and safe and green environment that we have here. But we do not lack facilities either. So on campus, you can find all kinds of buildings suitable for studying, for doing research. We offer labs. We have community study spaces, just like the Learning Center. We have the main building, which is home to the university library, the main library, which also qualifies as a national library. There are only 2 national libraries in Hungary. One of them is here at the University of Debrecen, in Debrecen. That means that we have more than 6 million books, journals, and other items. So you can do your research, you can do your homework, you will find anything and everything that you might need vital for your studies in one of our libraries. We also have a sports sciences building. We have student hostels. Some of them are on campus. We have many labs. We are also home to the fastest processing supercomputer in the country, which is at our IT faculty. It's around 15 minutes from the main campus. So that's also something that we are especially proud of. Now, what kind of programs do we offer? Obviously, we have our medical school, which is home to 4 faculties: the Faculty of Medicine, the Faculty of Dentistry, the Faculty of Pharmacy, all of which are 1-year master programs, so either 5 or 6 years long, and then multiple bachelor and master level programs at the Faculty of health sciences, such as public health nursing, dietetics, social work and social economy, social work in healthcare, molecular biology, etc. Then we have obviously non-medical programs as well in 9 faculties, at the moment, for both bachelor and master level studies in all kinds of different fields, starting with agriculture, all the way to business, engineering, humanities, IT, science, music, and even law. Most of our bachelor and 1-year master's programs, they have a September intake, for which you can apply now. And then some of our master's programs have a February intake as well. So we are also available on social media, so you can feel free to check out some of our content. It's something that I don't usually do, but right now I want to also share some slides introducing our medical program, because I know that many of you who are listening to us now are actually studying in one of these programs. So let me just, or planning to study with us in one of these programs. So let me just quickly share my screen again. Here it is. Awesome. I won't go into too much detail on some of these things, but I just wanted to make sure that all of you are aware that if you're applying for medicine, dentistry, or pharmacy, you will have an entrance exam taken in Dubai, and it will be in biology, a written test, and then either chemistry or physics. You choose which one, and it will take about an hour, and then you would have a compulsory entrance interview as well in the same subjects. The interview will also include checking your English communication skills, your motivation, and field-related questions, obviously off of our topic list. So this is something that's very important to know, that if you're planning to apply for medicine, dentistry, or pharmacy, you should do it as soon as possible, because you would take the entrance exam with Dr. Kadri's team and obviously a professor's committee from the University of Debrecen, and you need to start preparing in time, and you need time to register for the entrance exam. So please do that as soon as possible if you're planning on joining, once again, medicine, dentistry, or pharmacy, because your entrance exam will be happening in Dubai shortly. All right. So this is something that I also wanted to talk about briefly. And with this, I will stop sharing my screen and boring you with facts about the university. And I think it's more helpful if I answer any and all of your questions that you might have regarding the university or any of our study programs.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dora, for that information. Let's go ahead with the Q&A session now. So students, I can already see a lot of questions pouring in. So you just to state, you can type your questions back in the below in the Q&A box, and we'll be answering them. Let's move on to the first question by Adam. Adam is saying that that he wants to apply for medicine at University of Debrecen. However, he will turn 17 in August in 2024. If they graduate from high school in 2024, do they need to be 18 to apply?
Well, this is usually a case-by-case evaluation if there's an age issue for a student, because universally you would have to be 18 to start a program at the University of Debrecen. We do make exceptions, like a first-year program, obviously. We do make exceptions sometimes for exceptionally good students who have an academic advancement that we have to take into account despite their age. So that happens sometimes. This is definitely something that you should discuss with Dr. Kadri and his team later on. But if you're only turning 17 in August, that's probably a bit too early. We do have options, even if you cannot start with your first year when you're 17. So please reach out to Dr. Kadri's team for it to be discussed in more detail, okay?
Okay, and I'll be dropping in the contact details and the email as well in the chat below, so you can always refer to that. Moving on to the next question by Salim. Salim wants to know what's the average living cost in Debrecen and including accommodation, if you could let them know.
As I mentioned in my presentation, we do have some dorms on campus, but the number of those is limited. We have simply too many students now, which we are very thankful for. But because of this, most of our students stay in private accommodation and not accommodation on campus. What it means is they usually stay in apartments close to their campus, a 5 to 10 minute walk from their campus. We do help them with finding these private accommodation options. And they actually, if you share an accommodation, they don't cost more than the average dorm would. So that's what most of our students do. And if you're calculating living costs with housing, utilities, groceries, transportation costs, and free time activities, etc., on average, you would need around 6,000 or 7,000 USD per year for all of these. Obviously, it's a very subjective thing. It depends on your spending habits. It depends on whether you like to cook for yourself or rather go to restaurants, because then obviously it would cost more. But we also have on our website a list available with essentials and how much they cost in Hungary, both in our local currency, which is forint, and in USD, for you to be able to more easily calculate how much you would need. But on average, I would say about 6,000 or 7,000 USD for the whole year.
Okay. Moving on to the next question by Gaurav. Gaurav wants to know if there is any special training or course for the entrance exam for the University of Debrecen, and when will it be?
Usually we have tutoring seminars for our entrance exams. The one that we have now has already begun, but you can sign up or let us know, or let Dr. Kadri know that you would like to join one of these. in order to have time to sign you up for the next time. But yeah, we do have those options.
By the way, next one will be in March, no? So if somebody want to join his place, please let us know. It will be, I think, a 4 or 5 weeks program. So let us know if somebody wants to join. We can assist you in joining this program. Okay, next
Okay.
please.
Moving on to the next question by Mohammed. Mohammed wants to know, is there a cancer research center available?
We do have cancer research at the Clinical Center of the University of Debrecen. I'm not sure why you're asking, but yes, we do have one.
Okay. The next question is by Yusuf. Yusuf wants to know, what would the requirements for mechanical engineering look like for the September 24 intake?
Basically, a high school certificate. You can start applying in your final year, but obviously we will need eventually a high school certificate, and you would also take an entrance exam in both mathematics and physics. For those, you would be able to find sample tests and also a topic list per subject on our website. So you would be able to prepare for the entrance exam. So once again, mathematics and physics, and we would expect you to we would expect to see your grades in both mathematics and physics if you've taken those in your high school years as well. And we will
Okay.
also check your level of English during the entrance interview. Of course, if you have a language certificate, you can also upload it, or if you have a statement from your school saying that the language of instruction in your school was English, that's also great. You can upload that too.
Okay. We have the next question by Matthew. Matthew wants to know, is there any requirements in terms of SATs or APs?
Not really. I mentioned multiple times now that we have an entrance exam. So this is what we take into account most. Obviously, if you take some other type of exam, or if you are in advanced classes for any of the required subjects, that only helps you in the long run. So we highly recommend that. But it will be the entrance exam score that mostly decides your admission outcome.
Okay, can I just add you one thing that we need just a high school. High school can be A levels, high school can be CBSE, high school can be American high school diploma, any kind of the certificate which is approved by the Ministry of Education in their home country. And we don't need any SATs, APs, ACT, IELTS, TOEFL, nothing. The most important thing is the entrance examination. If you pass the entrance examination, you are in. If you say that I get 99.9%, yes, but it does not count anything. If you don't pass the entrance examination, we'll not accept you. So it means entrance examination is the key. So if you pass the examination, that's all. We don't need any other examination. We want you to pass your high school. Naturally, if you fail in the high school, then we'll not accept. But if you pass the high school and if you pass the exam, we'll accept you. Next, please.
Okay. We have a couple questions asking about the fee structure of different programs. For example, for medicine, we have for biotechnology, for computer science, engineering, etc.
Okay, well, that's also something that's available on our website. But for medicine, for example, it's 16,900 USD per year. So that covers 2 semesters. In the first year, you have to pay before the first semester starts, obviously, to secure your seat and to help with your visa process. And then from the second year on, you can request to pay in 2 installments, so per semester, essentially. It goes for the other programs as well. In the first year, you pay the first full tuition fee for the first year, and then you can pay in 2 installments later on.
Okay.
For visa purposes.
Okay. We have a couple questions. It's a repetitive one as well about doing the entrance exam in different countries, for example, Egypt, Qatar. So how will that work?
That would most likely be online for you then.
All right.
For this you can contact us. We will give you different dates. But if you are based in UAE, there is no online examination. That has to be physical examination in Dubai. But if you are living in Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Jordan, you will just contact us. We will give you the online dates. There are a couple of online dates which you can take it now. Okay. Thank you.
Exactly.
Okay. Fatma wants to know about the biotechnology bachelor's. Could you give a summary on that? And they would like to know about the entrance exam as well for the biotech.
Yes, I will also like to share my screen probably with you, because that helps more this way. Just a second. Yes. Okay. Think I'm sharing now. Okay. So if you go on our website, actually, it explains the whole thing. We have for each program that's of interest to you, we have a program description which is very detailed. And you can also download brochures where you can see all of the programs that might be of interest to you. You can compare them, you can see which would be the best fit for you. The same goes for this program as well, the biotechnology course as well. It's at the Faculty of Natural Science, Technology and Natural Sciences. With this, you would become a biotechnologist. As for the requirements, obviously, we need English language proficiency, which we can check at the oral exam, so the interview. And then you also need a high school diploma. As mentioned, for all of our programs, we need a high school diploma. And then you would take an entrance exam in biology and chemistry. It's the same. As I mentioned, there's a biology part, there's a chemistry part, it's a written test, and then you do the entrance interview. If you're applying for this program and not medicine, most likely your exam would be online. And Dr. Kadri will let you know when your exam would be after application. It's a 6-semester program, so it means it's 3 years long. Traditionally, most bachelor programs are 3 years in Hungary. If you see that one of them is 7 semesters, so 3.5 years, then it means that there's a compulsory internship period included in the curriculum, and that's why it takes longer to finish it. Now, for the tuition fee, as you can see very well here, it's 6,500 USD, and the same one-time fees apply as for all of the other programs. I won't bother you with reading the rest of the page, but you can read about career options, what kind of subjects you will study during this program, etc. So once again, this is available on our website, and Dr. Kadri and his team will also be able to share this information with you for you to read through in more detail.
Okay. Moving on to the next question by Ms. Suha. She wants to know if students can be accepted based on AL or 2AS for medical and non-medical.
I'm not sure what she means. The basis of acceptance is once again the entrance exam.
So
Uh,
yeah.
Okay, let me clarify this, that they are asking that if you can accept AS level, not A levels. Well, in some countries or in some system, A level consists of this 13 years of this education.
Oh
In
yeah,
that
I
case,
understand. Okay.
yeah. Please go ahead, Dora. You want to clarify, please?
No. I was just saying that now I understand what she meant. I thought she
Okay,
meant her
okay.
grades would be accepted.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right.
So,
All right.
so I mean, in that case, if you get the equivalency from the ministry that you have finished your high school and you can get admission in this, any of the university locally, then it will be accepted. Otherwise, it is not accepted. No. Otherwise, we need at least 2 A levels, not 2 AS level. Okay, please.
Okay, moving on to the next question. Talib wants to know that he's done all of the medical tests required by the university, but they lack in a couple of vaccinations. Is it compulsory to take all of them before applying? And they're applying into the computer science program.
Not necessary for applying, but eventually you would need them in order to start your program. So you would need to get them sooner or later.
Okay. Moving on to the next question by Amy. Amy wants to know, are you planning on having a master's for physiotherapy in the future? And if you're open to accepting BSc students from Philippines?
To answer the second question, the second part of the question real quick, we are open to accept any type of anywhere from all over the world, any student. So that's not an issue. As for planning to launch a new program that depends on multiple things. Most importantly, the faculties, whether they are still capable and have the time and resources to launch a new program. Second of all, whether there's demand for the program or not. So it's a very multifaceted thing, and I don't think I qualify to answer with a yes or no. Obviously, if there's a larger demand for a certain program, yes, we do take that into consideration, and the faculty would most definitely have a look at that. Yeah.
Okay. Simrita wants to know if there is any option for post-graduation in dentistry. Is there any route towards it?
So how it works, how the system works in Hungary and at the University of Debrecen specifically is that our dentistry program is a 5-year one-tier master's program. So it means that it's not divided to bachelor's and master's. It's all in one go. After high school or after foundation, you do the 5 years, you become a doctor of dentistry. And then after that, you can specialize, but you can start working with this degree right away as a dentist, right? So what we offer after this is if a student wants to do research and wants to go that way, we have PhD options for students who have this one-tier master program, so doctor of dental medicine degree, then they can move on to a PhD program with us. We, however, do not offer specialist training programs because those would be in Hungarian only. So most of our students who want to specialize in a certain field within dentistry, they usually go to another country to get their specialist training because the degree that we give them would be accepted worldwide most of the time. But if you have a degree that only qualifies as a bachelor's, then unfortunately there's nothing that we would be able to give you as options, because even for the PhDs in dentistry that we have, you would need a master's in dentistry.
Okay. We have a couple questions from students who are concerned about their grade 12 results coming after, or maybe once the application has closed. So can they apply with the previous 10th and
Indeed,
11th?
yes, you can do that. Yeah. We have
Okay.
many final year students who have predictive grades, who don't have their final certificate and final grades yet. This is perfectly fine because once again, our admission decision is largely based on the entrance exam performance and entrance exam scores.
Okay. Emma wants to know if a student enrolls in the dentistry program in University of Debrecen, can they do post-graduation in public health?
In theory, yeah, you can if you want to. Once again, the dentistry program that we offer is already a master's program. So it's a full program. But yes, if you're then interested in doing something else, sure, you can do that.
Okay. Moving on to the next question. Again, I can see this question is repeated many times. By what committees or councils is the university recognized and accredited by? Including, is it accredited by the UK education system as well?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I'm still reading the question. So they want to know whether A levels would work. Sure, and if you have 3 subjects, yeah, that would be your high school certificate then. Yeah.
Okay. And what about the
You still have to take the
accreditation?
entrance exam after that.
All right. What about the accreditation of the university? There's a lot of questions students asking about this as well. Will the university or the students be able to prepare for the USMLE?
I'm sorry? Once
There's a
again?
couple questions. Yeah, so there's a couple questions about the accreditation of the university and the degrees, but specifically for the medical one. So if the graduate is from University of Debrecen, what do they have to do for USMLE? Are they eligible? And the same goes
Yeah, for the
the
USMLE, obviously, we actually also have a prep course for the USMLE that students, based on their GPA, they can join after 3rd year. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th year, they can start the USMLE Step 1 prep through the University of Debrecen. So we actually encourage that, yes. And our medical degree is also accredited in the States. So by different medical boards in New York and California as well. So yeah, it's definitely one of the main goal of many of our students to work in the States or in Canada or in the UK, for example. And we do encourage them to start prepping for the qualifying exams as well. Yeah.
Okay. Mohammed Hal wants to know what's the worldwide ranking for University of Debrecen?
Well, let me also share my screen with you for that one because it's easier. You can look it up. We are part of many ranking, many ranking systems. So we created like a subsite for this, which is where you can see some of our rankings. And if actually you, click through to this website, you can see a more, I don't know how much of my screen you can see at the moment because mine is filled with questions. Okay, so yeah, you can see a very detailed explanation on our rankings and where we stand depending on which ranking system you are taking into account. Obviously, QS and Times would be probably the most important ones. According to QS, we are here at the moment, as you can see. And then we have the second one, which is the Times Higher Education, which is detailed down below. So you can have a look through that.
Okay. We have the next question by Salim. Salim has actually asked us a couple questions, but we're going to skip those that were repeated.
Okay.
Okay, so let's answer this. Can a student move to the UK in the second year? Is it like possible to transfer?
Oh yeah, transfer. Okay. Yes, we do accept transfer students. You would need some further documentation, like a credit transfer request form filled out. And it's a case-to-case basis thing where a committee at the university would evaluate these documents that you provided and decide which year you would qualify for. Based on your former school's curriculum, etc. So it's case by case, really. But yes, we do accept transfer students. That's not an issue.
All right. Moving on to the next question by Allah. Allah wants to know, is there an option for scholarships for the medical program?
Depending on where you come from, for some countries, so where you have your passport from, essentially, some countries have medicine as a program offered with the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship. So you can look into that. It's not all of the countries, but some of them have medicine, so that's an option. And also we can give tuition fee reductions to students who are top of their class based on academic merits. Obviously, after the first year is done, starting with the second year, they can get a tuition fee reduction based on academic merit.
I would just like to add, you can contact our office and we will give you the link for the Hungarian government scholarship. No, you can just check it. If your country and course is there, yes, you can get up to 100% scholarship. Plus they will also give you the living cost also. So check with us and we will give you the link for this. Yeah. Next, please.
As a follow-up to that,
I'm sorry, I just wanted to add one more thing. It's a pretty complex application procedure for the scholarship, so it's not as easy or as not easy but straightforward as it would be if you were just applying to one university, because it's like a whole system with many selection steps, etc. Obviously it's a competitive scholarship, so it definitely makes sense that you have someone guide you through that, because it's not an easy process. So definitely, ask for help from Dr. Kadri and his team.
Okay.
Yes.
As a follow-up to the scholarship question, Mohit also wants to know is if there is any sports scholarships as he is currently participating in four sports.
No, we do not offer sports scholarships. Something.
Okay. Moving on to the next question by Rana. Rana wants to know how many attempts can the students make in passing the entrance exam, as they know that the test will be conducted in January and the next one in March or
One
April.
per intake. There's no retaking it within the same session.
Okay. Emma wants to know how diverse is the student body at the university? What are the main nationalities?
I mentioned previously in my presentation that we have students, 7,300 and some international students this academic year at the University of Debrecen, and they come from 120, almost 130 countries. So all over the world, basically. So I couldn't just, well, I can name a few countries, but that's not really painting a picture here because we have students from almost any and every country in the world. We obviously have a lot of students from the UAE, many of who are originally from India, from Pakistan, and then we also have a lot of students from Kenya, from Nigeria, from Japan, from China, Jordan, Egypt. Mm, yeah, so from all over the world, we even have students from Iceland, which is really interesting. But from any country you could think of, we have students from Brazil, we have some students from the UK, we have students from the States, we have students from, I mentioned Japan already, right? Malaysia, Indonesia, yeah, almost any and every country you can think of. We have students. So it's a very mixed community. It's like a little melting pot of different cultures here.
Okay. Moving on to the next question by Akil. Akil wants to know the duration for the medical degree and is it included with the internship?
It includes the internship and it's 6 years, 12 semesters.
All right. Mother wants to know does Hungary provide visa for 1 year at a time or for full study duration?
So how it works is when you get accepted to the University of Debrecen, you go through this process. You pay your first year's tuition fee, you get a visa support letter, you go apply for your visa. If you are granted a visa, it will be a D-type visa. This is what we call a D-type visa, basically a student visa. This is what enables you to travel to Hungary. But once you come to Hungary and you register at the university at the start of your first semester, so in order to start your studies, obviously you come to register. And when you register, you are already handed a residence permit, which is basically valid for the duration of your studies. Sometimes after 2 years, you have to renew it, but it's automatic. So you have it renewed basically if you still have an active student status with which you can travel freely in the Schengen area. You can have a look around the continent, the neighboring countries. So you can travel freely, just like a citizen would. So it's actually not a student visa in the end, it's a residence permit that you have for the duration of your studies.
Okay. Moving on to the next question. Emma wants to know that if they're sure that we're aware of the NEET exam, which is the medical entrance exam in India, which is known for being
Yeah.
notoriously difficult, how would the level of toughness of the entrance exam of University of Debrecen compare to that?
Oh, wow. I don't think I would be qualified to answer this question as I've never taken either the entrance exam nor the NEET exam. It's probably Dr. Kadri who would know more about this, I'm
Well,
sure, and some of
well,
our students.
this your examination is based on high school. Well, if you're talking about India, it is, I mean, it's specifically catered to that Indian student. But this exam is an international student where you can get the question based on your high school. It can be American high school diploma, British high school diploma, CBSE, Japanese, Mexican, Taiwanese, Brazilian. So it's a high school diploma where all the question come from. So is it not related to CBSE or the any other board? So that's an independent exam based on your high school. So it is really not, you cannot compare with NEET, or you cannot compare with any other medical entrance examination in anywhere in the world. No. So this is totally different. Yes, but yes, NEET can help you, but it does not guarantee that you will get admission. No. Okay. Hope
Also,
I am clear. No.
very often we get asked whether you need to take the NEET exam if you want to come to the University of Debrecen. You technically don't, but you should, if you ever plan on going back and working with your degree in India, because no matter that you have graduated with a medical degree from any university, if you haven't taken the NEET, that would make things difficult. So I highly recommend taking the NEET for Indian students if they want to work in India after graduation ever.
Okay. We have a couple questions about the jobs as well, and if international students are allowed to work. If so, what would their pay look like on average?
Okay, so if we are being very transparent and honest here, for medical students, don't even start listening to this now because you won't be able to work because the workload will be too much for medical school. For students who are applying to other programs, not medicine, dentistry, or pharmacy, you still have a chance maybe that in your free time you would be able to work. Legally in Hungary, you would be able to work up to 30 hours per week, which is a lot. Just for comparison, my average work week on paper, it's 40 hours, right? So 30 hours is a lot of hours to work per week. So legally, you're allowed that. Physically, you won't be able to work that much with being a full-time student. So maybe in your free time on the weekends or in the evenings, you would be able to work 10, 15, maximum 20 hours per week. There are some jobs in town, student jobs that you could do even if you don't speak Hungarian, such as food delivery jobs or call center jobs for international companies. So these things, yeah, some of our students, a lot of our students actually do that in their free time. And yes, that gives you some money to cover a portion of your living expenses. We call it some pocket money, basically, that you would get with this. It will not be able to cover all of your living costs, all of the expenses that you would have during a month, but it would be able to help you significantly with some free time activities, to buy textbooks, maybe to go out to eat, this kind of thing. So yeah, that's an option. You can do that. But you have to take into account and really consider the fact that you come here as a full-time student, and working part-time is not something that always necessarily works out for everyone, depending on their schedules and depending on how much they would have to work or how much they would have to study for their exams after class. So I wouldn't just rely on that financially for you to do a student job. That wasn't a
Okay.
good answer, but I hope we covered everything.
Okay. Moving on to the next couple questions, I can see there is a repetitive one as well. If students are passing or graduating in 2025, when should they apply for the entrance exam?
Around December 2024, January 2025 would be ideal to apply.
Okay, and I can also see a couple questions about the age requirement again, even though it was cleared in the beginning. Um, Adam wants to know if their son will be 17 years old by August 2024. He's currently in grade 12 and wants to study medicine. Can he sit for the entrance exam and join in 2020, September 2024?
Well,
I
I
think he will be
answered
17.
a very, very similar question at the beginning of our Q&A session. A student would have to be a very academically talented and exceptionally good student for us to consider that. It's once again, it's based on individual case by case decisions. And the admission board would most likely look at his files, yes. But I would consider talking to Dr. Kadri first about this and what the options are, and he can have a look at your documents. And based on that, you can move on and decide along with him what the best option would be for you if you're only turning 17 in August.
Okay. We have a couple questions about the medical entrance exam as well. What would the passing score look like, and where can the students access the material to study?
Through Dr. Kadri. Yeah. Would you like to answer this, Dr. Kadri?
Yes. We can provide you the sample test paper, or if you want to join the course again, you can join the preparatory course in March. The course is being conducted by the professor of this University of Debrecen, as we mentioned. So there is a high chance. But still, if you don't want to join the course, we can provide you the sample test paper. Now it consists of biology plus you have to choose between chemistry and physics. So you have to choose between chemistry and physics, and biology is mandatory. Okay, I hope I'm clear.
Okay. Sultan wants to know what subject would the entrance exam be if the student wants to pursue computer science?
For computer science, it would be maths. And for computer science engineering, it's maths and English. Maths and physics, sorry. Oh, I'm losing my mind. So maths and physics for computer science engineering and maths for computer science.
Okay. Mohammed wants to know, is there a PhD program in organic chemistry, and when does it start?
It's not called organic chemistry. Most of our PhD programs, they start either in September or in February. So they usually have 2 intakes. But if you're interested in this field, in chemistry, then you can have a look at our PhD or doctoral schools, what we call them. Let me show you where you can find this. Just a second. So you go to study programs, and then you go to PhD or doctoral programs. And you can see all the different fields and what kind of so we have just chemistry, and probably within that you would find a research topic that would be suitable for you here, and the natural sciences section of our doctoral schools, and the chemistry doctoral school. So you can have a look at that. But each doctoral school here has their own research topic list, and all listed their supervisors, basically, who you would need to contact if you have a research plan written down. You can go and talk to the head of the doctoral school or a supervisor from the doctoral school to discuss your options if you have this and that research topic or research plan, whether that would fit into their profile and whether they would accept you for that doctoral school and the researches going on at that doctoral school. So it's a bit different from bachelor's and master's applications, because you would need to have a prior discussion with the doctoral school that you had in mind for joining. But the contact information can be retrieved from Dr. Kadri as well for all of the doctoral schools, or who to contact for that.
Okay. Moving on to the next question by Mohit. Mohit wants to know, upon completion of the medical course, a license to practice in Hungary before moving on to the specialization would require an exam. Is this exam going to be in English or Hungarian language? Or
English. English. All of your studies would be in English, so it will be in English.
Okay. We have a couple questions about the entrance exam as well. When will it be conducted? How should the students apply? And a follow-up as well. So, Dr. Kati, could you answer that?
I was just going to say the same.
Okay. Okay, all you have to do, contact our office, send us your education documents and your passport copy, and then we'll let you know what is the date, and we will register you. Again, we don't charge anything, but you just have to pay for the entrance examination fees. That's all. So once you send us the documents, we will provide you all the information. Thank you.
Okay. Um, we have a question by Medine. Medine wants to know what is.
Oh, this one's interesting because I actually studied psychology at the University of Debrecen. So basically, how it is, traditionally, before the Bologna system was implemented, the EU higher education system was implemented here. We used to, it was decades ago, we used to have usually 4 or 5 year programs that would be like the degree. It wasn't bachelor's and master's. It was just one, like what we have with medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy now. They were 1 tier programs, right? Psychology was one of these, obviously, when the psychology education first started decades ago. It was a 5 year program. It was only one go, and it gave you a psychologist degree. So upon graduation, you became a full-on psychologist, and then you can specialize in different fields in psychology. But now, around a decade and a half, 2 decades ago, the Bologna system was implemented, the EU system, which is a good thing because this way all of the degrees can be accepted all over the world, and especially in the EU, it's automatically accepted, right? But they had to rethink the structure of different programs that used to be in one long go, and then divide them into bachelor's and master's. So this is what happened with psychology as well. It became a 3 year bachelor's, right? And that gave you, they had to decide what kind of qualification you ended up with after finishing the 3 year psychology course. And that was behavior analyst. And then after you finish another 2 years and do the master's part of the program, that would give you the psychologist degree, right? So with 3 years, you do not qualify as a full psychologist because the program itself is 5 years, but it's divided into bachelor's and master's, which is also a good thing because this way, after your bachelor's, you already have the option to choose which field within or which topic within psychology you're leaning towards, and you can go into like towards school psychology or clinical psychology, this kind of thing. So you have options to choose from even for your master's. You don't have to wait until your specialist training to be going towards a certain interest. But yeah, essentially this is why you have, after a 3 year psychology program, you only qualify for a behavior analyst degree and not a psychology degree, a psychologist title, because you would need to do the other 2 years, a master's for that, essentially.
Okay, thank you very much for that detailed explanation. Um, moving on to the next question by Mohit. How many seats are there in the medical program?
About, I think, 280 ish
Okay.
per
Mhm.
year, I think, but not only from here, obviously. So it's for all the students from all over the world.
All right. I can still see a lot of questions where the students are asking about their recognition of the high school degree like BTech or ISC. Again, just to repeat that because there's so many of those and so many programs offered as well. You can always contact us, Kadi International. In the chat, I've given the details to contact us, submit your documents, we'll check your eligibility and get back. Next question by Salim. Okay. Salim wants to know, are there sports clubs or teams such as football, and is there a gym on campus?
Yes, we are very, very big on sports. We offer a lot of different sports on and off campus to students. Some of them are free of charge to join. Some of them you have a very reasonable student discount for, such as gym memberships, for example. All over town, you would have, if you wanted to sign up to join a gym, you bought a gym membership. you would have 20-30% discount automatically just for being a student and having a student card, a UD student card. So it's either that or some of them are free, but we offer all kinds of sports. We have badminton, we have running, we have football, basketball. We even have an American football team now, cycling. There's a hiking club as well. They organize like different hiking trips all over the country. There's skiing options in the winter. There's open air gyms on multiple campuses. So yeah, based on which sport you would be interested in, you can do pretty much anything. Some of them would not be entirely free, but with a student discount.
Okay. Moving on to the next question by Mohammed. Mohammed wants to know, what about the medicine program? Is it bachelor's or master's in the 6 years?
It's called a one-tier master program, and I know it's confusing. It just means that you start after high school or after a foundation program, and it's all in one go. You graduate after 6 years, and you have a Doctor of General Medicine degree in hand. And that actually qualifies as a master's and also a doctor title.
Can I just add you this one? Can I just clarify this one? Uh, in most of the countries, you get an MBBS, which is a bachelor program, and then you go for a master program. While this is a master program, but it does not mean that you are a specialist. Like in some countries, like in India, it's an MD. The same here, but there, MD means that you are a specialist, like you are a surgeon or gynecologist or something. But that's the same. But it's a master program. What's the difference between MD and this MBBS? MD here, like she explained you that if you want to go for PhD, you can go directly. But if you finish your MBBS and if you want to go for PhD, you have to do your masters and then you can go for PhD. So that's a difference. But still, you will become a GP after completing this MD. You will not be a specialist, no. So that's the main difference. That it's a master degree, but still you will become a GP, general physician. You will not be a specialist, no. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to the next question by Aya. Aya wants to know, does the university require any type of recommendation letter or motivation letter?
You don't need a recommendation letter for most of our programs. The only difference is when you're applying for a PhD and also a scholarship, then you would need the recommendation letter. But any other time, you don't need a recommendation letter at all.
Thank you, Dora. I think Zara will just take last couple of questions. Don't take repeat
Yes.
question, and then we can end our session.
Yes, as we're coming towards the end, let's take a couple more questions. Nasheed wants to know, are there any MBA programs?
We have a business program, which is an MSc program in business. It's international economy and business, but it's not an MBA. It's a business MSc program.
Okay. Is the university partnered with other universities, and can the students continue in them? A question by Aya again.
You can go on exchange programs for a semester or 3 months, sometimes 2 semesters if it's allowed to partner universities. That's an option, yes. But not like dual degree type of thing. So it's just an exchange program where you spend like a semester in, for example, Germany, and then you come back and continue with your studies here at the University of Debrecen. But we have exchange programs. Yeah, those are available to international students as well.
Okay. I can see a different question by Allah. Allah wants to know, can the students change their programs while studying? Let's say if they take biotechnology in the first year, is it possible to a higher level program like medicine in the second year?
The other way around would be a lot easier. So if you were to do medicine and then changed your mind and decided to do a bachelor's in some other natural science or health science program, that wouldn't be an issue. But because it's harder to get into medicine and dentistry, obviously, and the entrance exam is a lot different. That's why it's not as like biotechnology, and then decided you were more interested in medicine, you'd have to take the entrance exam and join the next year as a first year student. And some of the credits would be accepted, but that largely depends on both curriculums, not just the name of the course. So it doesn't really happen this way. It's usually the other way around. If somebody really wants to do medicine and then they find out that maybe it's not for them or it's too much, and they would then want to switch to, I don't know, public health, for example, that's easier to do.
Okay. Let's take the last question. This is a different one as well by Sanjay. Sanjay wants to know, is it possible to visit the campus and see the facilities and understand it? And what will be the suitable time and year for that?
Yeah, we usually have open days. We usually have virtual open days, right? Last year, we were thinking, okay, we sometimes have students who want to come and see the campus for themselves. How about we just organize an actual live in-person open day for the university and see what happens? And we had around like 60 people show up and being like, yeah, I came for the open day. So that was last year, and it was a hit and people really liked it. So yes, we're gonna have an open day next spring as well. Most probably next April. So yeah, if you're interested, and you sign up with Dr. Kadri, when we let them know the exact date, and the schedule for the open day, definitely you should come and check it out for yourself. And you can come anytime, basically, not just on the open day. Obviously, the open day is a better option because then you will be able to visit classes, to talk to professors. That would be a more organized thing. But if you just come on your own any day and let us know, or Dr. Kadri lets us know that you're coming, we will have someone, one of our colleagues, guide you through campus and do campus tour with you and tell you about the university, and also show some of the facilities that we have. But the open day would probably be the best option for doing that, if you can come anytime.
Okay. With that being said, this is where we will be ending the Q&A session. We've answered more than 115 questions, but I can still see that there's a couple doubts that the students have. If you do, you can always contact us. I have reshared our contact number and email. We will be happy to help you. And with that being said, this is where we will be ending the webinar as well. Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you, Ms. Dora, for joining as well.
Thank you for listening to me for an hour, and thank you for the opportunity, Dr. Kadri, and good luck to everybody, and we hope to see most of you next year on campus.
Thank you very much, Dora. Thank you everybody for joining us, and hope to see some of you, not some of you, most of you at the campus now. Thanks.